Okay, so my name is Elijah. I am a coach and NA amateur. A lot of people have been saying there's not a lot of public content, and it's kind of hard to get out there with that public content. So with Proview coming back, I feel like now is a good time to start doing a series on this channel where I pick a couple games, either in North America, Europe, China, wherever, and just go over laning phases with matchups that I personally am interested in, or I think that that could use some talking about. So I have not watched this matchup ahead of time, but I plan on watching Ssumday's POV in the Wukong versus Sett matchup because I saw a number of people on Twitter exclaiming that he played it kind of poorly. Just looking at drafts from the start of it, you can kind of assume that with Udyr Wukong kind of strong topside, it's most likely going to be Ssumday being played to with Ezreal being kind of needing to hit 2 items before he really turns on. I mean, Sunder plus Tier, Sunder plus Muramana, I believe is what people are currently going. They're not going to have too much lane pressure, but they're more just being put in that lane to survive, right? Obviously, it's Karma mid, so you're not going to be playing towards the Karma. Most likely, Udyr is going to be pathing in such a way to get Wukong ahead, because if Wukong doesn't get ahead in the Sett matchup, the matchup becomes very, very hard for him later on. He needs to get to Sunder, he needs to get to his breakpoints, so he can actually fight the Sett. With Sett in this current state, it's difficult to fight him without a bit of a lead. On the other hand, you have Rumble and then Tristana on the spot, which means that they're probably just sticking Sett on an island to just kind of weather the storm. He's difficult to dive with W and E, and so it's mostly just like an angle to get Rumble to 6, contest Drakes with the strength of Jace, Tristana, and Nautilus, and then take it from there, right? So both teams kind of have opposite game plans for early game, opposite side game plans for early game, and I just feel like it's going to end up with them playing towards opposite sides and having opposite strong sides in early game. So let's look at how he actually starts to play this out. All right, early laning is whatever. Can I speed this up? Unfortunately, I can't. All right, excellent. All right. So this is straightforward. Skip ahead a little bit. They're just going for 5-point. Let's see what side Udyr starts. Looks like he's starting top. Oh, there's a pause. All right. Need a moment to get past pause. All right, pause is over. Udyr looks like he's starting topside. Okay, so he's up against a Rumble. Rumble kind of most likely wants to start on his red side just due to the fact that he has AoE camps. He can start on blue side by just starting W into E, or even W into Q and just kind of clearing, full clearing bot to top. But the main thing is that Rumble doesn't really want to have to contest Scuttle against Udyr. So knowing that Udyr is mostly going to start on blue side, Rumble will probably also be starting on his blue side, and they're going to clear opposite, right? From that, Wukong is being kind of put in an awkward spot where he can't really overpush his advantages early game due to the fact that Rumble should be top around 315, 320 after doing Scuttle. This isn't the end of the world, though. He still can kind of pressure early on. If Sett doesn't have to push the wave, obviously, but in order to trade against Wukong, Sett will have to probably hit some minions with his E, right? So he's going to end up in a spot where he can most likely have the wave pushing into him a little bit, be at a bit of an XP disadvantage. Sett might be able to get a cheater off, but after that point, when Udyr finishes his first clear, grabs Crab, Udyr should be able to path topside at the beginning of his second clear to look for a player on level 4 or 5. I didn't watch this game. I don't really know if that's how it played out, but just guessing based off of lane states and where junglers are probably starting, that's how it's turning out, or that's how I see it turning out. We're not sure if Sett actually leashed tonight. He could be doing the same thing that Wukong did, assuming that Ssumday feels the same way. So again, assuming that Rumble probably started bot side because he can do it leashless with just overheat, but it's not something that he's necessarily guaranteed to do. It looks like Wukong started W in the lane, probably specifically to avoid early trades against Sett with E. One thing that can really happen at level 1 if Sett hits an E or two just because of how high his base damages are in his autos with his passive. is that Sett can actually get enough of an HP advantage going into levels 2 and 3 that Wukong's early advantage actually doesn't mean anything. So in this lane, he kind of understands that. He's taking W to kind of mitigate those early trades on Sett E. And instead of trying to just like do the standard thing in Wukong, which is just E trade repeatedly into the wave, and just look for like chunks with the bonus attack speed you get, he's taking W's to wait for level 2 to actually get those trades off to kind of mitigate some of the advantages Sett does have at level 1 in this matchup. Because you can't really justify going down HP into Sett here, mainly just due to the fact that like if you do that, the lane's essentially just over. He can just cheater on you, reset, and put you in a really bad spot. So it looks like Wukong is doing the thing that I mentioned earlier. He's understanding there's a good chance Rumble's starting bot, considering he knows that Udyr is probably going to start top, because that's Udyr's easiest clear with Q start. He does the single target camps better. So with Rumble most likely starting bot pathing to top, he doesn't want to push out the wave and put himself in a spot where he can get flashed on at level 3 or 4 around 315, 320. And they can look for to really just kind of end the lane early. Because like I said earlier, he has to get ahead, and if he doesn't get ahead, the lane's kind of fucked. So he's letting Sett just kind of get push on him, and just going to look to probably freeze out the wave a little bit. That's what I was talking about earlier with the W start. Kind of stop those extended trades against Sett with E stun. So Sett looks like he's stacking the wave. He's fast pushing it in now. Sett's probably going to look to get a cheater. Ssumday should know this, and he's just going to accept it because he has to. There's Sett, probably looking for his reset. Sick pun. Wukong's more than happy to just kind of just take this wave in and fight when he's a little bit stronger. All right, Sett's not taking the reset timing. That means that there's a good chance that Rumble is actually pathing towards topside here, because I don't really see a reason that that Sett doesn't reset with the wave bouncing back into him, unless he plans to actually do something to Ssumday with Rumble pathing towards topside. So we'll know in a second whether or not Rumble's actually pathing topside due to the fact that Udyr is about to walk up to this crab most likely. So if Rumble is not on the crab, then he's 100% topside, and somebody should realize this. Let's see if he does. All right, Rumble's not on crab. All right. So Ssumday, again, playing the lane very passively. It looks like he's probably just going to wait for first back. They're pinging warnings. All right. Ssumday is playing the lane knowing that there's a good chance Rumble can be pathing topside. Because he has larger wave, he can posture forward a little bit, not too much, due to the fact that if Rumble comes through the lane, he's in a really bad spot. Ssumday's at a pretty safe spot here. He's probably just looking to stack the waves and then get a reset off. Yep. Just last hitting. He overstepped there a little bit. Yeah. So he put himself in kind of a tough spot. I don't really understand. Let me actually see what he was doing with everything here. So pings came out after we did this that there's a good chance Rumble's top. We knew that going at the beginning of the game because he doesn't want to run into Udyr on crab. He's probably going to start bot side going to top. He can do it leashless. He doesn't need anyone to actually come. Right? They try to feign the leash the same way that Ssumday did by just S-keying over here. He S-keyed behind here and just kind of stood there. Came a little bit late. They tried to feign it. It was called out, knowing that Rumble can be there. If he's going to be playing towards anywhere, he kind of has to play towards his top side, right? There's no point in going down and putting a ward here, and he realizes this. If anything, what you can do is you can step into this bush, place a ward here to know that you're not getting lane ganked, then play towards top side of the map. Or, yeah, top side of the lane. Because if you play towards top side of the lane, what happens here can't actually happen, right? Because with him playing in this pocket, what can happen here is Sett can either walk up or flash up, depending on the range that they're playing at, get the stun off, and if they both commit flash for Wukong at this HP, they most likely kill him, which is what ended up happening here. Yeah, he's trying to get the slow push in, but he's playing it as if he actually has control of the lane, right? Knowing that Rumble has to be topside, you lose control of the lane entirely, right? You're not allowed to just kind of last hit minions and step wherever you want to. You can't overstep past, let's say, if you have a ward here, I guess you can play towards here and then just kind of W and expend flash if you have to. But you're not allowed to play towards the bot side of the lane as long as you know that Rumble could be topside, right? Especially with the dot damage going down, your invisibility actually doesn't do anything. It's just mostly for the short dash. So you end up losing going behind here. At this stage in the lane, Ssumday is in kind of a spot where he can't really play the lane without jungle attention. But because of the timing that he died, 405, Udyr's after Udyr's first reset, he's coming back to his top side. This is the angle where Udyr would most likely be coming top if Ssumday were still alive. Because Ssumday died, what he's forced to do is he's kind of forced to just clear his camps if he can, clear back bot side, and he won't be able to come back top until around 7 minutes, which is really, really unfortunate. So there's another 3 minutes he has to weather the Sett lane. So the Wukong pick is in kind of a very rough spot right now. I don't know what that lag's about. I'm assuming he's tabbed out or something. Is this on my end? Oh, it's on my end. Okay. Let me just rewind 10 seconds, see if something happened there. So yeah, he's over here letting the wave continue to slow push in. They can set up for a regank here once Rumble clears bot to top again. What exactly is happening? Can I skip ahead 10 seconds? Alright, hopefully it doesn't do that again. So yeah, with the wave coming into him, Sett is actually in a perfect spot here. His HP regen is going to make it so that he's going to be almost topped off with him when he comes back, unless he TPs. So yeah, this is kind of a play they have to try and make here. Let me back up a little bit, because you can look at it from this spot. Udyr has a couple seconds before his Gromp actually respawns. If they wanted to make this play, they have to do it now. This is the only real way you can look to equalize the lane. In my opinion, Revenge should honestly just take a reset and then TP and look to hold freeze here. There's no reason for him to really stay here. If he wants to, I guess he can try and hold a freeze without resetting, without getting any items, because he doesn't really need the items against Wukong, who reset with essentially 600 gold. Or, you can say 750, because he actually has 150 left over. I'm assuming he buys refillable, or no? He doesn't buy refillable. Okay, I would have bought refillable there, but whatever. In any case, with the wave pushing into you, what you can do is you can just walk back, reset on the same timer as your Rumble, TP back to lane, and just kind of look to hold a freeze on the Wukong here. Because what that does is when Rumble eventually clears from bot to top again, it opens up Wukong to just essentially just be entirely fucked. He doesn't have flash, he doesn't have W, he's put in a spot where he's really kind of doomed, right? So they make the only play that they can really do to stop this from happening, which is force a gank here. Normally this gank, I would say, would just be to get the wave in, if he's trying to stay here and hold it, because what you do here is you just walk up. Revenge kind of just walks past towards top side. Again, he should be hugging his top side, but Revenge just kind of pass up towards tower. Maybe you get a stun and some damage, force a reset, force a TP. But at the very least, you get the wave in, so it'll bounce back. So Ssumday's not entirely doomed when Rumble comes back on his top clear, or comes back clearing bot to top again, right? But because of the positioning that Revenge has here, he's not playing towards his top side. He's not acknowledging the fact that, again, we know that Udyr started top side because they didn't meet on crab. They didn't meet on bot side crab. We know Udyr started top side at 4 minutes. He's going to be coming back for his top camps. He has to be on top side. There's no reason for him to be playing in this pocket, but he should be playing towards top side. Because of that, they end up getting a kill, I believe, here for that. Nope, he gets out. All right. It's closer than it should be, but still. So at the very least, the gank accomplishes enough to actually get the wave in. They're looking for for Revenge. They're not going to find him. Somebody just kind of gets the wave in. That's nice. The wave's going to eventually come back. He mostly just wants to last up these minions as they come back in, and he doesn't want to keep the wave pushed as long as it possibly can. So yeah, like I said, what the gank does is it forces Sett to actually TP back into lane if he wants to do anything, but mostly it gets the wave under. So now you're not playing with TP disadvantage anymore. You can look to make plays on the bot side of the map without having to worry about Sett coming down, maybe at 6 even, being even scarier. But you don't have to worry about Sett coming down anymore and you not be able to match the Wukong TP. So the TP disadvantage is gone. Wukong's still in a very rough spot due to the fact that what's going on in the lane, the fact that Udyr is now pathing away from him. But he can at least try to survive until 6 and then make a play then. He can still look for fights once he gets his Sunder done, or once he gets Sheen and Kindle Gem, at least in the lane. But until then, the lane's kind of just entirely in Sett's favor, and Sett can do whatever he wants to. So Rumble's going to be top again in about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Ssumday should be aware of that, so he's looking to fight to stop Revenge from just kind of fully getting the wave in. I don't think it'll necessarily work, just due to the fact that Revenge actually, I believe, got kill gold. So has enough gold over Ssumday to continue to trade favorably and force the lane under. So by the time that Rumble comes back, the wave will be bouncing back towards Revenge. Alright, Ssumday's mostly just laning. He's not really anything else he can do. Checking on mid-fight, he can't possibly be there. Mostly out of curiosity. Yep. I'm assuming it's communicated that Sett's coming down. They have to know that Sett's coming down due to the fact that he just shoves in the wave and walks down. Wukong is essentially not effective anywhere outside of his lane for the next 200 seconds because he like I said, with him not having control in the lane, he can't actually come down to any of these fights first. So any fight that gets started will be a fight that essentially Sett wants to start, unless they make some kind of horrible mistake, right? He can't roam, he can't TP, he can't really leave lane, or Sett does ridiculous damage to towers. So if he leaves lane for any reason without his TP, he's losing 2 to 3 points, maybe even 4, right? So for the next 200 minutes or 200 seconds, he's literally just a top lane bot. All right, what do we got here? Pushing the wave in. He's looking to kind of. I'm assuming he'd be looking to fast push the wave here. He wants to get the wave in so it'll bounce back to him by the time Sett comes up. If he waits too long, Sett will eventually come up and look to hold a freeze. Yeah. He's looking. He can actually afford to expend HP to get wave in, due to the fact that he's most likely looking to reset anyway. All he needs to do is make sure the wave crashes in the tower, and that Sett can't hold it, which he hasn't fully done. But I don't think that wave freezes. I'm not 100% sure to be honest. Okay, so instead of taking the reset, he's looking to make a play mid lane. Or he's... I actually don't like this very much. I think that the correct thing to do in this place would just be to take the reset, finish either boots or grab a Kindle gem, and then just walk back up to lane with the way that the wave actually is. And I think next wave is a cannon wave as well. Sett can't actually push under tower fast enough for you to really miss any minions, right? Going down and continuing to fight at item disadvantage without actually, in exchange for just walking down and grabbing honey fruit, especially when you're doing it over vision, because they have top scuttle. Are you not like being off the map, assuming hey he could be resetting, he could be roaming, he could be doing whatever. You're doing it on vision to the point where they know where you are, they know you're not a threat. You haven't reset, so they continue to kind of pressure on you with that knowledge in mind, right? So it's something where you kind of, I guess, grabbing honey fruit you could see as kind of a mini reset because it did fill him up on HP as well as mana, but this isn't something that actually makes sense unless you're planning to have Udyr come up and dive right now, which is not something you can really do against Sett. Sett is now holding a freezing against you. You haven't reset. You're sitting at 900 gold. You're putting yourself in a spot where Rumble can be coming top. Wait, no, his blue buff came up. All right, at least Rumble can't be top. That's the only upside. So I guess he's maybe looking to reset on a time where Rumble actually can be going top, but by then, Revenge look, he's probably just going to stack a wave and then look to dive when that actually happens. Alright, so Rumble does that. Probably goes from Dragon to clearing bot to top. And should be top by 10:30, maybe? Yep, he handed over blue to Jace. Should be doing Gromp, Wolves. Yep. Revenge should be looking to stack next cannon wave and possibly dive Wukong on it. Or at the very least, stack next cannon wave and then walk down with his jungler to do Herald. Ssumday should be aware of this, but can't really do anything to stop it. I don't really think that 100 Thieves is in a position to really contest this fight at all. So they're looking to kind of just sit back for a little while, hoping the Ezreal, with this stupid Sundara build, is able to carry mid to late game team fights. But yeah, right now the whole reason you pick the Wukong in this lane is kind of nullified. You pick it to kind of look to snowball a bit on the Sett and have a side lane presence. That's over due to the fact that due to how early laning went. So Udyr comes up top. They look for this fight. Unfortunately, this isn't actually something they can do. Coming at that angle is unlucky. I feel like you have to be aware that Sett can actually just ult you back and just call it a day on that, but due to how ahead Sett actually is, dealing damage to him at this stage is nearly impossible. So this should be a reset for Wukong. Okay, this feels a little bit ill-advised. They don't have priority in mid lane. Top lane sure is half HP, but it's Sett, right? Rumble, I don't know if he has his ultimate, but if he does, they can actually fight. They can actually fight this. Yeah, yeah. Knowing that Rumble's topside, knowing that Sett is at least strong enough to still be there, knowing that Jace can get there first and will actually be more effective in this kind of a fight, they should have been aware that this wasn't actually something that's possible. Just thinking about this fight, yeah, of course they get wiped here. All right. So that fight looked like something that was a bit of desperation. Wukong's in a spot where he can't exactly play the game anymore. Um, I guess they're hoping to just find something, but they're not all on the same page on what they're actually planning on doing. So in my mind, this lane is essentially over. It was over at around 8 minutes with maybe some level of salvageability, but once that gets the second kill, it turns into something where the Wukong is going to kind of be ineffective for the rest of the game. He's having to play into Tristana, he's having to play into Jace, he's having to play into Nautilus. He's not really in a spot where he can realistically be an impact later on in the game. So I'm going to call this one, and I'll do another one later in the week.